What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And welcome to day 10 of the 31 Days of Horror Challenge in October. Now that we are on day 10 of the challenge, I know I've been talking about a lot of like known horror films. Yeah, no, if I can speak right. Excuse me, gotta clear my throat. Like a lot of like more well-known stuff, like The Stuff and The Serpent and the Rainbow, and films like that. Now I figured I'd get on back onto the underrated movie territory. I think this film is really underrated. Now that we are on day 10, here is the review for day 10 of the challenge, and that is on a film called Darkness Falls. An eye for an eye, your life for a tooth. I know for the past few the first 9 reviews, I've been showing Blu-rays, but I still have this on DVD. Sorry about the cough. But Darkness Falls was a film that was released in 2003, directed by Jonathan Liebesman. The first feature film that this guy got to direct. Now, if that name sounds familiar, Jonathan Liebesman was a guy who went on to direct Battle Los Angeles, the new Ninja Turtles movie. He also directed Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning as well. I still think this is his best film by far, Darkness Falls. And like it says on the tagline right there, an eye for an eye, your life for a tooth. Sorry. I got done drinking a Gatorade, and all of a sudden now I gotta keep clearing my throat. But Darkness Falls, I think this is a really underrated gem in my opinion. I know my good buddy Rob. Sorry. Hopefully I don't have to keep coughing during this review, but excuse me. But anyways, I think this is a really underrated gem. Sorry. My throat's giving out. Come on. Excuse me. Really sorry. But, I really do enjoy this film a lot. Now, also, though, I forgot to mention, too, that the music is done by Brian Tyler, and I think that's the same guy that did Frailty a few years before he did this. And the creature design is by Stan Winston Productions. May God rest his soul, Stan Winston. Now, Darkness Falls, I guess you would say this film is kind of more... I guess you would say, in a way, it's kind of like an urban legend kind of like movie. Now, the basic idea with the film is that it takes place in this small town of Darkness Falls. Sorry. Where basically, back in the 1800s, you had this woman named Matilda Dixon. Now, this was a woman who, back in the day, was a woman who would collect the loose teeth of young children. And in return, for their loose tooth, she would give them a gold coin. So people called her the Tooth Fairy, because she gave money to kids who lost their teeth. But eventually, one time back in the day, 2 kids didn't return home, and they blamed Matilda Dixon for it because she was known as the person that would collect teeth from young kids, and they blamed her for the children's disappearances, and a mob went after her, and she was hanged for it. And then it's many years later, and back in the day, you have a young boy back in the day, which would eventually become the lead guy, played by Chaney Clay. May God rest his soul, Chaney Clay. Basically, he was a guy who witnessed the Tooth Fairy, and then it's many years later, and he goes to the 2 people who he thought was telling him the truth, which is his childhood girlfriend, played by Emma Caulfield, who was from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show, and she has a younger brother, and basically her younger brother started to experience the same kind of things that the Chaney Clay character witnessed as a kid, and now they have to stop this force from happening before It destroys her little brother pretty much. Now, in a way, like I said before, sorry. Hopefully, my next review I'm not coughing this much, but I have to mention this again. But I guess you would, in a way, kind of call this like an urban legend like movie, because this was a rumor, or like a theory that spreaded a lot in real life, I think, about this Matilda Dixon. You can see a part of her there. Can't really, let's see if I can get it there, like right over here. That's the Tooth Fairy killer. And you can kind of get a glimpse of her right there with the eye and all that stuff. In a way, it's like an urban legend where they have this legend about this woman who collected the teeth of children and gave them gold coins for it. And then she kind of haunts the town pretty much because of what happened to her. Now, I think the one thing I really do wish with this film, it is a PG-13 horror film, and I think it works fine for PG-13, but at the same time, though, with this kind of a story and a plot, I kind of do wish they kind of went for an R rating, because it would kind of go a little bit further, a little bit more gorier. I think that's the one thing that's really a knock against the film, but it's not quite a big knock against the film, because I still do think it works fine as a PG-13 horror movie. But I kind of do wish at the same time it kind of went for more a little bit, with more gore and all that stuff. But for being PG-13, you got to cut back a little bit on that. But there are still some really good creepy images. Sorry. Excuse me for the coughing. But I do think it still works fine though as PG-13. You got some really good creepy images. Really good finale as well. Oh my god, my nose is leaking too. I'm a mess tonight. But and on top of that too, I think one of the other things that works really well is the lead guy, Chaney Clay. May God rest his soul. Died very young. I think in his early 30s. But he does a really good job as Kyle, who is the lead male character. And it was pretty cool to see a male lead in a horror movie. I really do like that a lot. I mean, I really like John D. LeMay and Jason Goes to Hell, and I also really like this guy as a male lead horror character. Emma Caulfield does a fine job as well as the childhood girlfriend of Chaney Clay. Excuse me. Now I'm burping. But and I also really like the kid who played the younger brother. I thought he did a good job as well. Sorry. Please excuse me for the coughing and all that stuff. But I had a long day today. But I think this film is I think it's a pretty well done flick. I know it gets a really bad rap. It gets like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. I've seen much worse horror films than this, trust me. And I would take this over a lot of PG-13 horror films nowadays. Like, I take this over Ouija and that new Ring movie, Rings, from 2017. That was a piece of crap. I believe that was PG-13. I could be wrong. But, yeah, I would take this over a lot of... Sorry. PG-13 horror films nowadays. Sorry, this review is full of cough, and I'm really sorry about that. But, excuse me. But if you want to see more of a underrated urban legend kind of horror film, I would give this a look. I like the three leads, especially Chaney Clay. I really like him. The creature effects by Stan Winston are really well done. I mean, Stan Winston, may he rest in peace, always did a good job on designs. I think the musical score by Brian Tyler is really good. I like the whole finale. And I like the story as well. It's a pretty interesting urban legend kind of like movie about this person known as the Tooth Fairy. Sorry. And all that stuff. But if you want to see more of an underrated urban legend horror film, I would highly recommend you check out Darkness Falls. I think it's a pretty underrated gem in my opinion. Once again, sorry. Sorry this review is a lot full of coughing. But I've had a long day today, so I'm kind of pooped out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this nonetheless. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care and have a good day, and I will see you guys next time.